everybody. If you remember, eons ago, back when dragons used to roam the lands of Earth, dinosaurs, hippogriffs, all the demons that you can think of, when they all used to run around the planet scavenging for food, hunting down each other. I had made a series back then, in that prehistoric time. It was a 7-part series known as RLCraft, a Minecraft mod pack that makes the game brutally unfair. Today, well, should I say in the last couple of weeks, I have been playing this mod pack yet again. However, it will be a little bit different. One of my terrible, horrible, ugly friends gave me the idea to play this mod pack, but do 100 days let's play of it. So, the entire series will be in this one video. Here's how it went. I loaded into the world on day 1, looked around and saw a bunch of nothing. I ended up trying to punch down a tree, but as you can see, it just doesn't work. I ended up picking up some stones and stuff. I got some sticks from a tree, because this is really the only way I could actually get some. I just started violating some fucking sheep, and then headed to a nearby village where I found a clock and some compasses. Some good stuff. That clock is really helpful. Saved a lot of pain. Stole some loot from a chest and saw some weird block in the distance. Died from a zombie because I suck. And then I picked up my shit, fought and killed the zombie and got a sword. I can't use it. Oh my god, what the fuck is that thing? I didn't really need to do much. I just kind of watched as the guardians kind of took care of it. I ended up going to sleep. On the start of day 2, some weird ass lizard started chasing me across the whole world. I tried shooting some pulses at it, but that shit didn't work, so I hid in the building and heard this. I continued searching, and that's when I found a skr. Oh my god. Went to explore this big block thing, and that's when I saw that. What? I looted this dead dragon, which is cool. I got some bones. Continued exploring. I picked up a bed since it's kind of hard to make. While running for my life from a crate, I ended up finding this house that I would eventually call home. Only after sleeping, because it was night. In the morning of day 3, I looked around what was my house and found a lot of cool loot. Went into the basement, and I saw a sex dungeon, so I just got the fuck back out of there. Okay. So I decided to fight the big worm, because that's a good idea, and as any good idea went, I got fucking eviscerated. Nice. Looted some chests near my house, and god freaking damn, this is some good loot. Scared away this crate using fire, which was nice. I ended up looting my stuff back. I started going to the battle tower because I thought the dragon was asleep. The dragon is in fact not asleep. The dragon is in fact not asleep. I went to a different battle tower, and that's when I saw a death worm, small one, so I just beat the shit out of this motherfucker. I actually don't trust him. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I killed another death worm and then headed to sleep. On the morning of day 4, I just got one tapped by a Jengu. I ended up fighting it, but ended up dying again. Although I was not gonna die again, so I ended up killing it. I grabbed some stones that I found on the ground. Are you like good, bro? I used the stones in order to make some cobblestone. Oh, fucking Christ. Oh my god. I dealt with the ants and then got the sticks that I needed. I used the sticks and cobblestone to make a stone axe and a stone pickaxe. I then used the stone axe in order to cut down the logs in order to get planks, because that's how it works in this mod pack, which I used to make a chest. I woke up on day 5 to see the Aegis spawning, which is really nice for village defenders, and they're defending me. I headed to the battle tower in order to cheese it, because I'm not good enough. I lockpicked the chest because loot is just too easy apparently. Started clearing out the zombies, but then more started spawning, but you know, I'm just the best, so I just killed them all without an issue. Until one of them I killed spawned a geist and then fucking obliterated me. On the way back to get my loot, I started getting chased by some joust, and then it just started speeding up. What the fuck? I'm dead again. After actually getting my loot back, I ended up going back into the battle tower in order to fight the spiders and zombies and clear the floors out one by one, and to get better loot. I saw a zombie in full iron armor, but it killed it no issue. I ended up leveling my attack enough so I could use iron weapons, since certain items is locked behind levels. Continued to lock me in a chest with this fucking piece of shit. Alright, this is when we do something known as a tactical retreat. On the morning of day 6, I just kind of felt crafty, so I just made some chest, a hammer, or some fucking lockpicks, and started beating the shit out of stuff with this hammer, and I died. Using my newfound power, I just went to the battle tower, but you know, it's just like, what is happening, dude? Yeah, no thanks. While attempting to kill this chupacabra, it hit me into this villager, which caused the Aegis to just fucking annihilate me. On day 7, I entered a sex dungeon and found this weird looking sword, which had some really good enchants. Continued looting and then also killed some ants. Looted more, but immediately died to a crate. Awesome. And again, graded my pick. On day 8, I continued looting. I also died to a rat. I got my loot back and then continued fighting. Are those explosive arrows? This infernal zombie just one-tapped me. I managed to get my loot back, but then I just couldn't kill this fucking Reaper, dude. This Reaper just wouldn't fucking die. It just wouldn't fucking die. I came back and then managed to kill it. Someone please explain this bullshit. Thorns in this game is also bullshit. I started day 10 off by making a shield and a backpack, which I obviously equipped because it's just more storage. I failed to kill this Drew. While trying to retrieve my stuff, I was fighting these armored skeletons, but they were just smart, dude. I just couldn't kill them. Oh my god, they're fucking like military so. What is that? On day 11, I continued trying to get my stuff back, but I died. And again. I tried sneaking up on the skeleton, but I died to thorns. On my way back, I ended up getting attacked by a Gru, which of course I ended up dying to.
Fuck you.
And then died again, and I killed it. But I ended up dying to a neck. Then another Gru, and then again. Eventually I got to where my stuff was. Oh, my stuff is gone, dude. It's not even like any of this matters. After that soul-crushing realization, I ended up making a stone battle axe, another axe, more shit, and then I went to sleep. On day 12, I returned to the battle tower where I continued cheesing it because I'm a scaredy bitch. I just started killing these skeletons, just harvesting their bone marrow. The zombie picked up a diamond and what the fuck is that thing? I continued moving up the battle tower, looting, and killing more zombies. I got knocked off by this cave spider, but it jumped off like a fucking idiot. When I started day 13, I ended up making a new backpack. I got attacked by this big-ass horde of joust, which I dealt with easily. But they gave me enough XP to upgrade my armor. Okay, we're going right back to base, because that is big. So you guys probably like, oh, shut the fuck up, God. I'll tell you what happened though. But now I could finally use that shield I have. I went to the other battle tower, which I also looted, but ran away because I was about to burn to death. But I managed to upgrade my skills before dying, which was nice. I then continued looting the battle towers and just like, what? Fucking motherfucker! This continued on to day 14.
Bitch.
While trying to escape because I was extremely hurt, the spider cock-blocked me, which led to my death. This happened again with zombies. Eventually, I headed home because it was getting late, and I got jumped by some bugs.
What?
The morning of day 15, I died from them again, which was awesome.
God. Oh my
I ended
God.
up lockpicking this chest perfectly on my first try, which I don't even know how. I guess I'm just awesome.
What? What?
Some like super fucking powerful bird sucked me and just started obliterating me. Like it was just shooting shotguns at me, bro. I ended up killing it at some point because like I don't suck. But then I was proven wrong because it sucked.
You piss me off.
I started throwing knives at Bulbasaur. On day 16, I fought this fucking lion.
Why is there a lion?
I dealt with it, and so I found the battle tower. Oh my god. I decided to loot the battle tower, because who doesn't want some good battle? And I saw a congregation under me. Awesome. I tried taking care of some of the stronger ones down there, And you know, it was working, so I went down there and I was taking them down one by one. And that creeper scared my fucking brains out. And that creeper exploded like 10,000 blocks away. Awesome. I continued killing stuff, but more bullshit happened and I died to some cave spider. I went back to get my stuff and I died to kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy!
I ended up getting my stuff back again.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is terrible.
And again.
What? What? Did he just melee me? Did that skeleton just knife me like we were playing CSGO?
On my way back, I ended up getting chased down by a bird, a big fucking bird.
How are you keeping up with me? You bitch. You bitch.
I awoke on day 17 to a strange sound. I investigated it, and one of my villagers, John, died. I sadly had to put him down. And I freed the other one. He never showed up again after that. Rest in peace, John. After getting my stuff back, a creeper blew up and crashed my fucking game. I ended up dying to a cave spider. Got my backpack back, but then fell in and just quit. Nope, that was not for now. I attempted to salvage what happened when I came back, but let's be honest, who would have thought that was gonna work? So I decided to suck it up and just make some new shit. I got some new rings, baubles, and stuff that can be cool little effects, and I made some chainmail armor. What is that?
What is that?
While running from it, I got chased by this scarlet ghoul. It killed me, and then the chicken apparently. On day 18, I decided to be a herbivore and just started eating some plants, but in order to eat plants, I gotta set up a farm, so that's what I did. I tried to make it look pretty, but let's be honest, there's no reason. I also built a fence because I wanted to get some sheep. However, these sheep were actually mentally deficient. Their brains were on a different planet. Follow me. Follow me. Follow the wheat. Why are you standing there? On day 19, I heard something I never wanted to hear. The flapping of wings. I looked outside and I saw scorched land.
Why is there a dragon right there? Do they migrate?
I decided to mind my sorrows away, and of course, you just can't do that. It's RLCraft. What do you expect? I also died again trying to kill it. I ended up creating a piston, which I used in order to make knockback arrows, which I needed for a plan I had. I needed some blocks, so I mined a tree, and god damn it, motherfucker. Day 20 is the time to execute my plan. I started building up the battle tower. On the very top of the battle tower, there's a guardian that protects some of the best loot. The plan would be to knock it down using the knockback arrows I made. I shot down some of the weird air monsters in the sky. Equipped the knockback arrow, and hopefully shot him down.
Please work.
It didn't work. Okay, let's be honest. Who would have thought it was gonna work? So I immediately decided to retreat, but he followed me. So I recalled back and decided to rethink what just happened. I went back to see the situation.
Yes. He's right there. That's perfect.
I figured since the big guardian that was protecting the top of the tower was not on the side, I'd be able to sneak on by. So I used this time to try to get by, and I managed to sneak by, but like 1,000 fucking spiders just started spawning. Like, why is there so many? And I died.
I got jumped on Monster. I'm not gonna lie, there's not much I can.
On day 21, I started heading back, and I saw this guy.
What's up, bro?
When I got to the tower, I saw this.
Why is there a floor of lions? Why is there a floor of lions? What the f?
I managed to kill the lions. I tried opening up the chest, but I kind of forgot the fact that it wakes him up, so now the guardian was trying to attack me again. Awesome. I used this time to loot the chest though, since he was gone, and my god, the loot I was getting was insane. Once I got all the loot, I dropped down. I tried escaping, but my master plan was ruined by a fucking enemy.
Fuck you, you ent. Fuck you, you ent.
Managed to get my stuff back. I fought this infected spider afterwards that had so many silverfish coming out of it, like holy shit, dude. It was kind of satisfying though, killing all of them.
I cleared the battle tower. I cleared it. Oh my god. It was cleared in probably the worst way anybody's ever cleared any battle tower ever, but I did it.
I spent the rest of the day just organizing my chest since I had so much loot. On day 23, I started exploring around in order to get resources for a mount. I started getting chased from monsters that came out of this purple pool. They just overwhelmed me and I ended up dying.
What?
Afterwards, I just continued exploring throughout the day and throughout the night, but nothing really ended up happening, so I just went to sleep. On day 24, I created the shield about time, and then created a new weapon, a rapier. I made myself a full set of iron armor. I started clearing out the battle tower, and then started looting the chest. I got this really good bow with power 4 on it. I continued looting some more chests, and found myself an atlas, which was great. I continued looting and I got some other cool stuff. Once I reached the top, I noticed the golem wasn't there. Not complaining about it, I decided to loot it, and oh my god, it's just good loot. I ended up escaping the battle tower successfully without any issue. On day 25, I went back to the battle tower, and I looted the rest of the items I didn't get to last time. I went home and ended up making 2 new chests. Finding the atlas was amazing. The atlas is a portable map that you can bring with you, and it allows you to mark down places, which I used to mark down my home. I went back into the sex dungeon in hopes of recovering my loot. On the way, I began fighting this one skeleton. It flung me into a hole, which was okay because it took me right to my loot. From there, I began breaking the spawners, and then began my ascent back to my base. On day 26, I organized all my loot, and found this giant, like, medieval castle thing, which I marked down for later. I was a little too pussy to go in there now. I found this outpost nearby, and this weird tree thing started shooting green lasers at me, but I'm just so cool at the game, so I just fucking whoop its ass, you know. I got this ominous message, though. On day 27, I went inside this desert temple and got some loot. I was trying to tame a horse when I got ambushed by a flock of jousts. But, you know, me being the sick man I was, I destroyed them all. I finally managed to tame the horse. I got my attack to level 16, which allows me to use diamond weapons, which is a huge stepping stone on my path of greatness. I then started hunting rabbits down until nightfall. I looted this giant fucking skeleton, or you know, tried to. And on day 28, I entered this giant temple. I broke this block of gold, but it was a trap. Or should I say, booby trap. So exploring around, I saw a block of diamond, which I quickly snagged up. I then got out of there. Saw a dragon, I was like, nope, other way. I found like a mirror version of my house. It was like the same thing. But you know, mine's better because, you know, I prevail. I ended up healing up at a nymph, and then I entered the big castle structure from earlier. There's a bunch of vindicators inside, which I killed, because I'm just awesome. And wither skeletons, which I killed, because I'm awesome. And more vindicators, because I'm awesome. Fought giant hordes of zombies. I don't even know what the hell's going on here. And some skeletons, too. But by now my shield is broken, so I made a new one. On the morning of day 29, I continued fighting, and god damn, some of this loot is insane. I continued just exploring and clearing out this tower, getting a ton of XP, just killing a bunch of skeletons, looting all these items. I mean, like, dude, I was practically unstoppable. Nothing could have killed me. Maybe not. But the confines of this world does not possess me. On days 30 to 31 was kind of a loop, just continued fighting. But what the fuck was that? Made another grave skull, and marked my sights on a skill and attack, and died to a blight spider. Another grave skull, died. Another grave skull, died. Another grave skull, died. Another grave skull, died. Many grave scroll, and then had enough, so I dipped. What are you doing, you dumb bitch? I ran across another village though, which was awesome. So I set the waypoint. Are you dead ass? On day 32, I grave scrolled to get my stuff back and then returned back to base. I then just proceeded to organize for the rest of the day. On day 33, I created a soul gazer, which allows me to analyze mobs. This will be very useful later on. I went on an expedition though, because there was something very important I had to do. I traveled and traveled and traveled until I saw on my map the Defiled Lands biome, a nasty purple biome. When I entered the biome, I stupidly stood at some thorns, almost dying in the process. I then proceeded to grab the mushrooms I came here for. I used my soul gazer to analyze a nymph, but I have to wait before I can do it again. I was trying to snipe down a blight mob, but I heard some flapping, so I got out of there. On day 34, I researched more nymphs and just kind of organized. On day 35, I continued that and turned my iron blocks into defiled umbrium blocks. This is what I used the mushrooms for, which allowed me to make a new armor set, the Umbrium armor set, which is so good. Statistically, it's the exact same as iron, but it comes with a little bonus. I get permanent strength and motherfucker! I killed a Silix and destroyed some spawners that were kind of nearby my base for some quick XP. I then reaped my rewards. Then on day 36, I went down into the sex dungeon again and went deeper. Continued looting. I just got a lot of just cool little goodies. Spotted an Enderman, but Loki, he was kind of rocking my shit, so I decided no more of that. I'm getting my attack level 20 though, so now I got Battle Spirit, the skill from earlier. Gives me strength after each kill, which is kind of useless now, but will be helpful later. I also died of thorns. Grave Skull. The fuck is that thing? I killed the big brute thing and headed back to base. On day 37, I cooked up all the Silixes and then started researching the Jangus. After a bit more farming, I just continued researching and killing a bunch of nymphs, and then the nymphs dropped flowers, which I used to spawn more nymphs. So it was just an endless cycle of evil that I was doing, just killing 1,000 billion of them. I created the summoning staff, which would be also very nice, but more on that later. Returning to the sex dungeon, I just kind of explored, and I noticed the mobs are getting kind of stronger now. This trooper collar was low-key rocking my shit. On day 40, I made an Umbrium pike. Is that a pike? Was that a? It was a spear. I don't know what it was. It was something. It was a weapon. Okay. I killed a nymph and I got this really weird message. However, it's probably fine. And this thing called an Argus just kind of threw me around like I was a little toy and just, yeah, okay. On day 39, I went into this giant temple dungeon type thing and I got absolutely diddled. I went back and just continued fighting off the mobs. And, this went on all day and all night. There's strays for some reason. I don't know why. We're in the desert. Also, I fucking hate thorns. On day 40, I just started farming the Icosa's now and just destroyed them, a lot of them. This was to build knowledge, by the way. And when I mean farmed, I do literally mean that. What is that? I don't know what I expected this to do, but yeah. But honestly, with all my newfound power, I felt like I could take it down. And you know what? I was doing a really good job. So I killed more Igus's, a lot of them. Day 41, but I'm gonna be fully honest, I don't know why I felt the need to include this clip. Made a bow, first try. And then used it to make a diamond strengthened crossbow. I made some diamond bolts.
Sub-Zero!
What the fuck? So while this ruined my plans for the day, I decided to check it out. Oh, what is that? Started shooting them down. What? That's it? Yeah, no, I don't know why. They just kind of stopped spawning like a minute after the event started. So I just started spending the rest of the time clearing them out. Once I was done, I headed back to base. On day 42, I saw there was one left over, so I tried killing it. However, every time I damaged it, the nymph just kept healing it up. But it despawned before I can kill it, but at least I can get my karma on something else. I ended up killing some Jangu. Oh my god. I continued killing Jangu for the rest of the day, and researching them, until eventually I finally got them rank 2, which is what I needed. I did the same thing with the Aegises on day 43. What? On day 44, I used my summoning staff in order to spawn in an Aegis that fights for me. I had it fight a nymph, but LAKEY kind of sucks. I had a goal. This was a big goal though. Something I didn't know if I was going to be able to carry out. A big mission. The dragon in my base, I wanted to kill it. I felt like I could do it as long as I avoid him. I started fighting it pretty much the entire day. Like literally. The reason why I specifically researched the Jingu and the Aegis is to combine them together in order to create a nymph. Yes, my own very own nymph. I also died. I continued fighting the dragon through day 45 and 46. I'm dead. I ended up using a hiding spot in order to get some safety from it while I continued shooting the shit out of it. Oh! Oh my god! Ah! Oh shit! I don't even know what to feel, bro. I don't even know how to feel. Upon finally killing the dragon, I looted everything. All of the parts. It gave me so much! I ended up creating another nymph on the way home because I didn't heal. And I could just do that now, you know? I got this fucking hot babe following me, look at that. On the morning of day 47, I ended up creating a full set. Why did I put a rabbit? I made a full set of dragon armor, okay? I also created some weapons, just a bunch of stuff. I used all the stuff. I made a canteen as well, which I upgraded all the way up to the dragon canteen, which purifies shit for me. It's awesome. You could see it working. I grabbed the anvil from the sex dungeon, and I created a bauble reforging station. I ended up also making just a regular reforging station too, and this would be good for reforging the substats of my armor, which I wanted something good, but I didn't have enough materials to just, you know, do it to everything. So I just upgraded what I could. For now, I stored it in the chest because I wasn't a high enough level to use it. I wanted to create another weapon, so I created a bow, and I also created the nunchucks on day 48. And last, another stepping stone to my path of greatness. I also made the enchanting table. I went back into the sex dungeon. I tried fighting them off to the best of my ability, but like, I'm gonna be honest, this is not strong enough. I looted and found some cool recall potions. I mined. I was trying to find some troll, which was for a saddle, but I just kept dying, so eventually I just called it wraps and just left. On day 49, I created an Umbrian pickaxe because I was kind of tired of my shitty one, and I started mining some iron. I found these heart crystals, which was nice. I ended up getting some baubles. I got a forbidden fruit, and I also got an Ender Queen crown, which the undying substat, which is the best one in the game. So I very quickly equipped both of those. One of them spawns the Enderman, and the other one makes me like immune to some stuff. I don't even remember what it was, like hunger or something. In the morning of day 50, I used the heart crystal shards that I mined earlier in order to make some more max HP. Jesus, can't speak. And I started moving all the stuff downstairs in order to create an enchanting room. Oh yeah. On the morning of day 51, I realized that the Ender Queen bauble actually had a downside. Being in water hurts me. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, what the fuck? Why did this big ass tree just spawn? Like, what the shit? I killed it. It took a while, but you know, it died. And there was a small one too. I continued working on my enchanting table and grabbed some books from the nearby library. It was a super long ladder that I went down. And yeah, no, this ladder is huge, so long. I went to the bottom and lo and behold, it's another dungeon. So I started fighting all the stuff down there because I cannot avoid combat. But I died. I went back on day 52 and okay. I'm sorry, what the fuck was that? I continued to fight in there and, you know, there was so much. But, you know, I just actually killed them all really easily. Just went into day 53. And yeah, I know, I just, as you can see. On day 54, I headed back and I spent the entire day just working on enchant. On day 55, I continued enchanting. And on day 56, I decided to get more dragon. While this fight did take a while, it did not take nearly as long as the other one, so eventually died. I went over and I looted it. This time I collected its blood. I grabbed all the bones and stuff as well, just because why not? And I infused the blood with all my weapons to make them inflamed, so now they inflict fire. So, you know, and they do a little bit more damage too, so you just, why not? And I was finally able to wear my enchanted dragon armor that I'll have prop for, which is great. And I ended up creating some strength rings using some magma blocks, which I created earlier, and potion rings and blaze powder. I was able to create strength rings, which just give me strength, permanent strength. I have strength 2 all the time. Like, what? I combined some diamonds and ender pearls, messed up the recipe, and created a soul stone. This isn't quite useful yet, but it will be. On day 57, I went into the mines in order to find a troll. I tested out my new weapons, and god, dude, this shit was just overpowered. While I was searching, I ran into a big lava monster, which I killed easily because I'm just the best. I mined some more heart crystal shards, and eventually I found the troll.
Oh, shit, let's go.
After so long, it took like the entire night.
Okay. Oh.
I was kind of nervous to fight him because it was kind of big and intimidating. I tried shooting a bow at him, but that was useless. I sent my Aegis in, but he was useless.
They're fucking useless.
So I just went in, and that was pretty easy. I got the tusk, but I didn't get the hide. Eventually I found another one, and I killed it, and I ended up getting the hide. So I ended up heading home. On day 58, I made a saddle for avians. I waited until night. All this progress I've been making is all for the rock, which allows me to fly. It's a mount that I can fly. I don't know what else to say. Eventually, I ended up finding one, which I immediately tamed, using my avian treats that I've been cooking up for the past forever, which I then used my saddle on in order to ride it. And now I can fly, which I was honestly geeked about. I used my soul stone on it, so if it dies, I could bring it back to life. I just spent the rest of the day just flying around. This led into day 59, where I still had goals of becoming even stronger. So I went around and chop down all the leaves off trees and stuff in order to make an overpowered food known as the paleo salad. Specifically speaking, this food allows me to increase all healing. All healing is boosted. And I also made some blood chilies, which allows me to have higher lifesteal. I also made a brewing barrel and went to the village in order to grab some grapes for another busted consumable known as wine, which increases my status effects. On day 60, I created a crushing tub, which I used to crush said grapes into a thick slurry. Once I was done with that, I just put it inside of the brewing barrel repeatedly, which will ferment and make wine.
Winged venom! Acid rain!
Another event ended up happening, and it was pretty easy, honestly. Nothing was killing me, so I just cleared them out. On day 61, I traded in order to get better enchants. I ended up creating a better shield too, which I was long overdue, honestly. I continued fermenting the wine, and eventually it finished, so I tried it out with the leech effect, and yeah, it works, increased the status effects. On day 63, it was a big day. I went into another portal, built the portal perfectly, and entered hell. And yeah, this is haunting, I'm not gonna lie. So I grabbed some syncinasite. I hate fucking pronouncing this. I grabbed this ore, a lot of it. It's a very important ore that's integral to beating this mod pack. And I just kind of went around fighting shit, and again, nothing was really able to touch me, which I'm kind of surprised. I might have over prepared. I'm just really overpowered. I found this battle tower, and I'm not gonna lie, I got carried away, and I stayed here for like ever. So yeah, I just spent a while doing this. I upgraded my iron skin, which increases my defense, and that's what I've been using my XP for. I found this giant portal, so I lit it up and went through because I honestly had enough of being in here. When I went through on day 64, I entered this dungeon, which was pretty small but had a bunch of spawners.
Yo!
I recalled back and created some more heart containers and organized my backpack a little bit. It was now winter time. The air was cold, the night was dark, the sand was blowing in my face. I placed down some soul sand, and you guys could probably see where this is going. It's time to fight the Wither. I didn't know what to expect, honestly, because this is RLCraft, and this Wither could be like God incarnate, but I summoned him anyways, and it was time to see how it would fare against one of vanilla Minecraft's hardest bosses. And I'm gonna be honest, he was virtually the exact same. I did not notice any differences with him. And considering how strong I am, I was able to just kind of shoot him down to past half health. And then once he went up to put up the shield, I just went in with my nunchucks and actually eviscerated him. That was so easy. I didn't even get hit at all during this boss fight. Wow, just genuinely. He dropped a lot of heart shards, so I used that to make another heart container, and I was at 19 hearts now, which is just like, okay. On day 65, I decided to fight a dragon actually for real head on in engaged combat. And, you know, this went on for a little bit, and it started shooting spitballs at me. You know what? It was going pretty well. I cannot lie. He was not hitting me, and I just kept sniping it. Eventually, it did hit my rock, though, so I was like, okay, you know, it's time we get out of there. I fell from like 1,000 blocks, but, you know, I'm just goated, so I guess I just didn't die. I went on the side, and I just started shooting it from there. And yeah, very, very shortly after, he ended up falling. So I would just count that as a W.
Okay, so I might just be swole as shit. Like, what?
I crossed a river and went to his body, and I looted it. I got some just more of his blood. I mean, I didn't really need any of this. I just wanted to see where I stood. And yeah, in fact, I was strong enough to deal with him. I fought another dragon on day 66, and he kind of got stuck, so I thought I would be able to easily handle him. But nope, he killed my rock, and I fell 1,000 blocks. I went inside this big purple dungeon type thing, and there was a lot of stuff going on. There was a ton of specters, those things that spawned like way long ago. But I was just one-shotting everything. Everything was just getting obliterated. I came here in order to find some ender pearls because I needed to go to the end. Nothing was hurting me. I found a big giant rat boss, and I killed it in 5 shots and 1 hit. You're telling me this is a boss? It dropped a beast soulstone, which I used. I was able to bring out the lion, which is cool, but I never used it. Eventually, I headed back to base and I created more heart containers, and I used them all. Just kidding, I reached the max. Let's go. On day 67, I began my search for the end. The end is nigh, guys. The end is nigh. So eventually, I came to a conclusion of where it might be, and I went down 1 trillion blocks until I eventually saw some wood. I was like, okay, here we go. We're here. No, I don't know where I was. I was just in some random dungeon. The game has successfully lured me into another infinite battle. I spent forever down here. I killed so much down here. I stayed down here for so long. This went through days and days, man. I was trying to find the end, but I just got distracted, and like all this XP was just so juicy. Like I can't pass it up, dude. I can soar. Eventually, I ended up finding the stronghold, which took a while, but I did. I explored around, and after a long while, I reached the end portal on day 69, which was gonna be super fitting because I'm about to fuck the shit out of the Ender Dragon. I entered the end. It's time to beat the game. Technically, not really. And yeah, it was basically the same. The dragon was, I mean, a little bit more aggressive, and there was some other structures, but I shot down a lot of the stuff. The ground looked evil, so I didn't bother going down there. I just shot down all the end crystals. I did it to the best of my ability, but there was one inside of a gauge which ended up killing my rock, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going on the ground. And I brought my nunchucks out, and low-key, he was eating these shots. He was eating the shots, and now I have to deal with the evilness. Eventually, after enough persistence, he ended up dying, and I had killed the Ender Dragon.
Easy.
So on day 70, I decided to try to look for an elytra. Found this weird structure that had a bunch of diamonds and whatnot. I didn't find the end city until day 71 though. Stuff was really far away from this Modpack. I don't know if it was something with the end, but yeah. On day 72, I ended up getting jumped by 1 billion mobs. Some of you very eagle-eyed people might have noticed that my health is a lot higher. I couldn't find the clip, but while I was looking for the end city, I just reforged all my baubles until I'm dying. On day 73, I decided that I was ready in order to fight one of the 3 endgame bosses, Rahuvar. He is basically Satan. So on day 74, I made a demon soul cube, and I went to the nether roof, and I got ready. He was gonna be significantly harder than anything else I did. So I ended up building the altar using the soul cube, and then from there I ended up placing the diamond blocks on top of each of the corners, and then I activated the boss using the soul key. I didn't really know what to expect, so I used all my effects, and then I went just straight in, and I just started tanking everything. Because of everything I have, I'm able to just do a shit ton of damage and heal up basically right away from every hit. And yeah, no, it was working. He was already in phase 2, and then before I knew it, he was in phase 3. And then shortly following, he ended up falling down.
What? Are you kidding me? I'm just that overpowered?
So I grabbed the stuff he dropped, and with utter surprise, I ended up heading back. On day 75 is when I made it back, though. I ended up making some more soul keys for the upcoming bosses. On day 76, I ended up summoning in the Crimson Epion, which is needed for the next boss. And I'm not gonna lie, this boss was really, really easy. Like, I don't even know if I can consider this thing a boss, because I killed it in like 3 hits. On day 77, I made some synthetic lanterns using the synthetic I gathered earlier. I also made some waystones for my base. These waystones will allow me to travel between dimensions, which is going to be good for the Lost Cities, which is what I was getting synthetic lanterns for. I made another one, and then decided to switch it up. On day 78, I went inside this giant mega battle tower, which I spent the entire day on because I'm low-key kind of stupid. On day 79, I went into the Lost Cities for the first time. Using the synthetic lanterns and 6 skeleton skulls around a bed, I entered the dimension. I had to move fast though, because this dimension's unlike the others. I immediately tried to go up in order to build a safe zone, because the monsters here are actually evil and they would still kill me even with the insane amount of preparation I have. So I started building up, but eventually I started getting some debuffs and I couldn't do nothing. And then some shit just started following me, and then, yeah, I'm just gonna let it play out. Just enjoy the show.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
So eventually I managed to get up there, and that's when I basically made a floating obsidian box, and I put carpets in order to prevent spawns, and lit up the area, and placed my waystone down. However, I ran out of obsidian, so yeah, it sucks. On day 80, I went back to Lost Cities, and just, dude.
What the fuck am I looking at? What is happening?
I tried shooting down all the stuff that was chasing me, but like, I'm gonna just be honest. I genuinely just do not know how you're supposed to kill some of these things. These things just, they were taking no damage. I entered one of the buildings in order to search for one of the best baubles in the game, the Dragon Ring, on day 81. So I went through these buildings in order to find this Ring of Dragons, but I just got jumped by everything ever. And I was tearing them down, but they just kept spawning. I was worried about my armor, so I left. On day 82, I created the Aberrant Soulstone, which allows me to fight Osmodius, the second of the 3 final bosses. I built the altar in the end, and I summoned him. After how Rahovart went, I was pretty excited. I felt like I could take this guy down easily, considering how fast I just annihilated Rahovart. So I buffed up again, and I went right in. So yeah, I just did the same kind of plan. I just went in and just did as much damage as I can since I could tank everything. As expected, he ended up getting to phase 2 really quick. I was attacking for a while, but I noticed he just wasn't taking damage. Turns out he had a shield. At some point I popped the shield so I was able to run in. However, he started lighting me up with his giant minigun, and I noticed my health was really low. So I ate all my foods again, and I killed stuff for HP. I went back in, pushing him into phase 3. And just decided to go all in. It was now or never, and eventually Osmodius 2 fell. On day 83, I created some of the stuff needed for the final boss. After I was done recording, I ended up organizing my chest, and I was wondering what this raid sigil was.
What the fuck?
On day 84, I built another altar in order to summon in the Lunar Gru, which would be needed in order to create the Soul Cube for the final boss in the game, Amagulich. I got the altar ready, summoned my rock, and then summoned the Lunar Gru. I could finally get my get back on all these fucking Grus that have killed me on all the worlds, and I did it so easily. I was so happy. On day 85, I needed to find this Ring of Dragons. I made it my mission. So I searched and I searched and I searched. I looked through countless chests, going through all these parasites, but I couldn't find nothing. I continued to search on. It wasn't until day 86 when I finally found one of the rings. Not the correct one, but the Ring of Phaelus. Holy shit. But since it wasn't the correct one, I still kept looking. On day 87, I found the Ring of Dragons, but it was being guarded by like a billion, trillion, quadrillion mobs. And I was actually fighting these things forever trying to get it in order to try to pick this up. But because they were just, for some reason, cock blocking so hard. I continued fighting them off, trying to get some sort of opening in order to pick up the Ring of Dragons. And eventually I saw that opening and I grabbed it, and now my mission was to escape. I ran away and I tried to find some spot where I could use the warp scroll, but I kept getting hit, so I couldn't do it. My god, fuck off, please. I cleared off the remaining ones that were chasing me, and I used the warp scroll. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. On day 88, I equipped my Ring of Dragons, and this thing is way better than I ever thought. I had to take off one of the strength rings, which sucks, but whatever. It increases my HP by 25%, my damage by 25%, and my damage reduction by 50%. I noticed that it also made me bigger. I couldn't fit through doors unless I crouched through them, which was interesting. And the Ring of Dragons allows me to fly around at insane speeds, like creative speeds. It's insane. I reforged it up until I got Undying, which I just got first try because I'm awesome. On day 89, I got ready to just finish this. I was done with this stupid fucking world. I built the altar for Glitch in the Lost City. I got all my stuff ready. All the stuff I thought I would need. God apples, blood chilies, paleo salads, wine, all of it, and I summoned him. 3, 2, 1. It was time. After he spawned in, I ate my paleo salad, then my blood chili, and then I drank all the wines I needed in order to maximize the effects. Then I switched my armor to silver in order to prevent the parasites from killing me. I rushed in with a god apple, and I just got one tapped. I tried again because I thought it was some sort of glitch. So this time, I was going to be a little bit more careful. Clearly, I was in over my head. So let's do it, you know, let's do it. I knew I was strong enough. I started by trying to shoot him down. But it still didn't work. It's clear to me now that this mod pack is just impossible. If you've watched this far in the video, I want to truly thank you guys. A massive one. Really, this video took so long to edit. Over 24 hours of footage was put into making this video. And though it's not my proudest product, I am happy to present it to you guys. So thank you for watching. Truly. And I hope you guys have a great day. Sorry for the bad ending.